I want you to hear what Pat Sajak said, and you tell me, was he trolling the contestant and like kind of doing like a cheeky thing, or was this just something he said just naturally and that's just how it came out?
D.
She wants a D, and she's going to get one. And you can pick up that wild card.
Okay, she wants a D, and she's going to get one. So everyone was like, he's like I want some D. Like, you know, like my boyfriend walks in like, yo, vitamin D, get over here. That kind of thing.
D.
She wants a D, and she's going to get one.
It's a letter.
Right. But okay, so the controversy right now is, was he being cheeky and kind of like flirting-ish with the contest, like trying to be funny? Or was it completely like innocuous and get your mind out of the gutter, Cooper?
Yes. Second one. Get your mind out of the gutter, Cooper.
Well, so you didn't play the video, you just played the audio for people, but he does have like kind of like a little cheeky smile on his face when he says it, like he's making a joke.
D.
She wants a D, and she's going to get one.
He's being Pat Sajak. That's crazy.
Okay, stop right there, Mister. Let me tell you something about Pat Sajak, okay? Back in the day, a long, long, long time ago, Pat Sajak met a lovely young lady who happened to have gone to University of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this because I went to University of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go into boys' rooms at University of Maryland.
Oh, yes, you would.
And there would be posters on the wall. It was a poster that was sold at University of Maryland. And it was this smoking hot chick. And I think it was featured in Penthouse, like the Girls of College, whatever the, episode, whatever the episode, whatever.
One of those.
Yeah. So, and she had this little teeny tiny t-shirt that said Maryland and these, like little teeny tiny underwear, and her body was like just rocking, and she was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
That's the woman who married Pat Sajak.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's Pat Sajak's wife. Okay, like this smoking hot, like think about this.
It's 100 years ago.
This is but think about it. Years later, like she had posed for Penthouse, and years later, her poster is still on the wall of boys' rooms in college. That's how smoking hot she was, and that's how with the Maryland shirt on and all that. I'll never forget that poster because I would look at it and be like, women look like that? Like I look at myself in the mirror and be like, what's wrong with you, body? That's what you're supposed to look like.
Okay. Pat Sajak has been in game shows since the 60s.
His whole life. He started out in radio.
Right. If he can't get somebody that looks like that, there's a problem. So
good point, yeah.
He better get somebody that looks like that.
Plus, I heard he's the nicest guy on the planet. So it's like not only is he successful and likable,
he's
nice.
the perfect guy. He works 3 days a week.
But I'm just saying, just so you know, he didn't marry some frumpy Cooper-looking housewifey kind of chick. His wife is still to this day just absolutely stunningly gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So the only reason why I'm suggesting that he might have done something cheeky is because he does understand what beautiful women are and what they look like. He didn't just, marry the person he went to high school with.
Right.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna look at this girl again.
Watch again. Now that I told you that, watch again.
She wants a D, and she's going to get one.
No, not even close.
Okay, so you think that he was just doing his job?
People just need to stop. I've had it to here today with all this.
Well, it's like that's Twitter. That's Twitter for you.
It's like, and we haven't discussed this, and I'll only bring up one person because it hit the news today, the Cuomo thing.
Uh-huh.
And there's a new girl that came out today against Cuomo.
Okay.
And I yelled at the TV when I saw it because what he did is he kissed both cheeks when he met her.
Like a French, like a European, like mwah, mwah.
Yes. So
is she European?
No, he's Italian.
Oh, but he's not really from Italy though.
My whole family kisses both cheeks
Oh, I see. Okay.
when they meet you. That's just what they do. She was in her house was flooded. He met her, grabbed her hand, held her hand, talked to her, kissed both cheeks, and that's what she's coming out about.
David said he's offended, and so is Sharon Osbourne.
I mean, everybody, stop it. Stop it. A guy can't kiss your cheek without you coming out against him and being on the 6:30 news.
Well, you don't know what the vibe was in the room. So the action you're hearing is that he just leaned in and kissed her cheek. But I mean, I've had guys in work environments do some really inappropriate stuff without even touching me.
It was a photo op because her husband and family was right there and press was right there.
I'm just saying, you don't know the vibe in the room. You don't know how he made her feel. That's for her to tell you, not for you to tell her. I'm just saying, like, listen, again, I've had bosses that I told you that story about that boss of mine who took me to a sex club because he needed somebody to come in with. And yet there was no vibe whatsoever. He wasn't interested in me. It was very clear that, I was literally just there so we can get in the sex club. And then he went on his way and left me there. And I didn't consider that sexual harassment. Yet I've had bosses just when they walk in the room, they just say, "How you doing, Cooper?" But the way they say "How you doing" and the energy out of them is like, that it's not appropriate. I'm just saying it's not the action, it's the feeling.
I know, but up until this point, I was on every girl's side against Cuomo. I was the only guy. I mean, I was fighting women. I fought you on this. I said,
no, only because in the very beginning there was one girl. Now, as a woman who has been in a very male-dominated industry for a long time, I've had a lot of inappropriate stuff happen to me, and I mean stuff that would make your head spin, and stuff that I really could have gotten people fired over. But I'm also in an industry that you don't do that. So when I heard that one girl was upset because they took a photo and he held her hand too long during the photo handshake, I was like, that's not a thing. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Again, it's how he made her feel. It's not the action of what he did.
I know, but I've been on every girl's side up until this point.
Okay.
He kissed both cheeks. That's just the way he is. He's how old is he? 60 some years old?
The boomer.
A boomer from New York. That's just what they do.
Yeah, but that's not okay. But that's the whole point. That just because it's your generation, that doesn't mean it's okay. Do you know what I mean? Just because your generation allowed that to happen, it doesn't mean that our generation, younger generations, are going to stand by and allow people to touch us inappropriately, even if it's taking a selfie or a double cheek kiss. I'm just saying.
How are people going to hook up anymore?
He's not there to hook up. That's the whole point.
I'm not. That's fine. I understand that, but I'm saying, how are people going to hook up in the future? They're going to be too afraid to even talk to each other.
Okay, first of all, not at work, and second
that's
of all,
that's the only people you hook up with is at work.
You're gonna have to let the woman make the first move. That's your answer.
Then it's never going to happen.
Well, then it's never going to happen. You have to find people who don't work with you. And frankly, you shouldn't be hooking up at work anyway.
That's 90% of people where they hook up. You're just around somebody long enough to where they kind of look attractive.
But if it's a legitimate relationship, that's different. We're talking about, especially because someone like, hang on, don't talk. Especially someone like him who is a governor. He's in a position of power. So he already runs the room. So everyone else in there is subservient to him in a way. It's using his power inappropriately. So bosses and employees are never going to date, but equals can date.
No, I'm too afraid to talk to anybody now.
You should be. You should be.
I should be, yeah. But because of all this, I don't want to talk to anybody because I'm too afraid. They're going to say I did something. It's like the Keanu Reeves thing now. When you take a picture with somebody, you put your hands 10 feet away from them. You don't even touch them.
Right.
I mean, you're going to be too afraid to touch anybody or shake their hand because I made you feel uncomfortable when I shook your hand.
Right. I thought about that. Like once we get back to an actual radio station where we're meeting and greeting, like in person, that's something definitely to consider. Like taking selfies and taking pictures with. I mean, it was Lady Gaga's birthday this week, yesterday, and I posted a photo of when we interviewed her, and she was like holding my shoulder and holding my arm and like touching me the whole time. Like she was really interested in making a connection, and she and I really had a good vibe. And, can you imagine if I was a male or she was a male? You know what I mean? Like it was okay because we're both women and we were having a very real conversation. That's just sometimes what women do. But in that environment, if one of us was the opposite sex or
she was too drunk to even remember. But no, I thought that when we met with her, and especially with Miley Cyrus, because I really got in there with Miley, and I went, well, I'm touching her too much. And I actually thought that.
But you had your hand like on her. She was
no, I had it around her waist.
Yeah, but she was affectionate with us first. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, you let her make the first move. You didn't walk over and go, "Come here, Miley." I mean, she walked over and like leaned in, like, "Come on, let's take a selfie, you guys."
But
like
I was so close to where I went, boy, is she skinny.
Right.
She's
very skinny. Yeah,
and I didn't notice that until I was touching her. Right. But that could have been wrong too. Right. I don't know.
Yeah, but okay, so I think you're right. I think from now on, you shouldn't know how skinny Miley Cyrus is by touching her. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the new thing now. Like, COVID-wise, I don't want to touch anybody anyway. Like, I saw somebody today greet somebody else, and somebody put out their hand. The other person went, "Oh, no, I'm not shaking your hand. Yeah. No, thank you. No fist bump, no touching." I was proud of him because I would be like intimidated. Like someone's putting out your hand, you feel like, well, you have to acknowledge it in some way.
And so. I still shake hands. I do that a couple times a week, and it drives me crazy.
Not me. I'm so happy to not have to touch anybody ever again. I have an excuse. Don't touch me. I'm not going to touch you. Between COVID and inappropriate behavior, let's just all stop touching.
Yeah. There will be no more babies. I'm telling you, the human race is done. It's not going to be killed by a virus. It's going to be killed by wokeness.
I'm talking about strangers, and I'm talking about work people. You can certainly get on Tinder if you want.
Half the sex you had growing up with was strangers.
No, but who were willing? They were willing, and I was willing. But nobody ever. But I'm just saying, like, I never let a man make an inappropriate gesture towards me if I wasn't welcoming it. If I didn't welcome it, believe me, he knew that was not okay.
Right.
Like, he got a beer in the face or a kick in the groin. Like, I didn't put up with any of that stuff.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go back and think about any of that because it's not good for me to think about that because I can just imagine. No, it was the 90s. I don't want to know.
No, but it's also, but right now, I think it's hard for both of us. Like, you're a guy, so you don't know how to behave with women because you don't know you do know, but you don't know if something's going to be perceived in the wrong way, especially like someone like Cuomo, who in your eyes didn't do anything so terrible, and yet he's being accused. So that, I think a lot of men, I've heard men talk about this, that it makes them feel like they don't know how to behave because they don't want to make a woman feel uncomfortable, and they don't know what different women have different boundaries, and you don't know what that is, which is why, you need to it's like asking someone's gender identity. Sometimes occasionally I'll meet somebody and I'll say, they'll say, "Hi, I'm so-and-so," and I'll say, "Hi, I'm Cooper. My pronouns are she and her," because I know that they want to say to me, my pronouns are they and them, but they don't want to come out and say it because they don't want to be judged or perceived wrongly. So I will start first and say, "Hi, I'm Cooper. My pronouns are she and her."
Mm-hmm.
And then they feel comfortable telling me what their pronouns are. Do you know what I mean? I think it's going to be the same thing with sex, that a man is not going to make a move in straight world. Let me qualify, because I think it's very different with lesbians. Maybe it isn't, but I think my lesbian friends are having very different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Although, again, no, not in a work environment. If you're a gay woman and your boss is a gay woman and she's in a position of power, she also can't touch you or speak to you inappropriately. So I think it comes down to positions of power, and who you can and can't speak to and how you speak to them.